Generation Trash, a mystery to most, a whole generation lost to hating recycling. Let's take a look on the streets to see this Generation Trash's war on recycling.
So, what do you think about recycling?
Man, I hate recycling. Generation Trash.
What's your belief on climate change?
Climate change?
Yeah.
Well, I believe that humans are definitely affecting it quite a bit with all sorts of different stuff with our large highways and our city sprawl and all that. But I also believe that the Earth kind of also goes in cycles as far as hitting high peaks and low peaks. With the ice age at a low peak and then.
Let's head over to the government side of things.
Recycling and sustainability rank.
On my schedule, probably not real high, probably in the middle.
And do you know what measures or programs are being taken to address the growing need from citizens to shift to a more sustainable Idaho?
I don't know of anything.
All right. What are your personal beliefs on climate change?
Climate change? I think climate change is a natural occurrence. I think it's been going on for years. I don't know that there's a lot of evidence that the human impact is making a great deal of difference in climate change. But climate change is a fact.
And do you think that Boise's recycling and sanitation programs are at par with other cities such as Seattle and San Diego?
I kind of doubt that we're on par with some of the larger cities, but I think we do have a fairly good recycling program.
And do you think Idaho will ever reach the level of those cities?
I think those other cities will keep moving, so I doubt that we ever reach par with them, but certainly I think Idaho will move as well.
And do you believe that Idaho will ever become 100% green or eco-friendly?
Well, that depends on what you mean by 100%.
Such as solar energy, or I know this building's powered by geothermal, right? Do you think it will ever become a larger scale in Boise?
I think it will be a larger scale, but I don't think we'll ever be 100%.
All right. And just one last question: do you believe that sustainability and recycling is a passionate subject among Idahoans?
I think it ranks probably in the middle. I don't think it's the highest priority, but certainly I don't think it's the lowest either.
All right. Well, thank you for your time.
You
That's
bet.
all I have.
You bet.
I'm the trash man. I come out, I throw trash.
Approximately 75% of trash in schools is either recyclable or compostable. Recycling is only conducted in 40% of schools. This is due to the fact that recycling is not free. When people think that recycling is enough, they make budget cuts in other areas of the schools. Let's see what a small business owner has to say about it.
So what have you done in Bitter Creek and Red Feather to help the environment become more eco-friendly in Idaho?
Good question. So we went through a process about a decade ago, kind of looking at all the things that we could do to be a little less wasteful and a little more thoughtful, I guess, with the environment. And big areas that we identified in waste were things that go to the landfill, and that really influenced our purchasing decisions. Being more local, which is a big focus of ours today, and really started a little over a decade ago. We buy a lot of our food from local farmers, which eliminates the transportation needs and puts the money back into the local economy. And reducing our energy usage in the restaurant, which is a big deal.
All right. So what are the benefits to being eco-friendly?
Well, the benefits are our planet has limited resources, so we want to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. So it feels good to do things right, and our staff tends to like working here because of the way that we conduct business. But there's definitely some business benefits when you start to do things like reducing waste, and specifically resource waste like water and energy and food waste. There's a lot of money savings to be made, so it's good business.
And are there any downsides to being this eco-friendly?
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Culturally, we have to do a lot of work with our staff in terms of training, why we're doing the things that we're doing, and there's extra steps involved. We have vermicomposting going on in the basement, which takes a lot of extra staff time, so that's costly, and it takes time in the kitchen because they've got to save the scraps. They've got to save them in a way that doesn't allow them to deteriorate before the worms get to eat them. So it takes more storage space and more time on their part.
And do you think the unchecked growth rate in the Treasure Valley is going to have an impact here on the climate in Idaho?
Yeah, it's a big issue. The lack of urban boundaries in our area impacts our ability to produce food. We have a wonderful agriculture region here, one of the richest in the country, and we continue to absorb ag land into housing. And by not having those boundaries, we get sprawl rather than higher density, which limits opportunities to look at other forms of transportation, because when you spread everybody out, it makes transportation issues more difficult. If we could develop a more dense urban zone, I think we could begin to look at better forms of transportation, different forms of transportation that don't use as much energy and that move more people with less resource. And we protect that farmland so that future generations actually have food that they can produce here.
And so do you think you or this business will ever become 100% green energy or eco-friendly?
Well, that's our goal. We continue to work towards it every year. We set goals for ourselves. And our energy usage, our goal is to reduce our energy usage by about 10% a year. It's hard because we've gradually gotten busier. So as we get busier, we use more, and so we have to offset more. And we work on being zero landfill, and we've definitely made a lot of progress in landfill. In our landfill waste, but we still have some things that, especially organic waste, that is like plate scraps, because we can't feed that to the worms. So we feel like the city needs a composting program so that ultimately we can be almost landfill free.
The last one, what do you think the biggest issue from Boise or Idaho is, like, from becoming 100% green energy?
Well, I think you touched on it. The land issues are a big issue. How we manage land in the Treasure Valley, and transportation issues related to that. Those are big, complicated topics, and probably have one of the bigger impacts. But I think how we build buildings and incentives we create for designing buildings that are more energy efficient, and because there's a lot of solutions out there today, but it costs money, and so building the incentives in so that people want to do those things is a challenge.
This subculture is primarily made up of the scum of society, many of them just looking for a cause to be part of, and joining the war against recycling is what they turn to. Instead of shunning and casting these people out, we should embrace them and bring them back to the light. We hope this documentary has changed some perspectives.